chegou a hora. Seu aniversário? Parabéns. Vamos lá. Vamos fazer uma aula que vai começar aqui, ó.
Hello everybody, and welcome once again to the Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil and the Porsche Sprint Challenge Brazil on the most fantastic of race circuits, the Autódromo José Carlos Pache. Interlagos, the home of the Sao Paulo Grand Prix and the home of Formula One in Brazil since 1990. It really has been a sensational race weekend so far. We had some terrific battles yesterday. Marcel Müller coming through for a critical victory in very tricky circumstances. An absolutely crazy race yesterday that brought us all sorts of drama and pandemonium. Now we're going into the battle today with an even more exceptional challenge awaiting the drivers, as we are now prepared for more excitement. Marcel Müller and Miguel Peludo will line up on the front row of the starting grid, and after yesterday's encounter, which saw Christian Hahn and Werner Neugebauer drop out of the race in the opening stages with two separate crashes, now we've got just two drivers in the championship fight, Marcel Müller and Miguel Peludo, and the battle between them is just 3 championship points with 3 races to go. The race that takes place here this afternoon, and then the 2 races that will support the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in Formula One on the first weekend of November. A very important end to the season then for our Porsche drivers. Don't forget that straight after this race, we will have the Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil, and then afterwards we will have the Porsche Sprint Challenge Brazil. There is no gap in between those races. As soon as the podium is finished, it will end up being a really exciting battle straight into the mix once again. So we're going to see another terrific battle for that grid later on. It's obviously going to be a very different race battle as we prepare for race action in the later race. But obviously we can talk about that in some detail because we're not going to get any time to discuss the starting grid order from that race later. But it's definitely going to be an exciting one for the drivers in the Sprint Challenge grid later on. Miguel Mariotti will be pole position for that one alongside Christian Moore. And then we're going to see Sebo Malucelli and Alcifel Manito in the Lightning McQueen colours in 4th position on the grid. Gerson Campos will be beside Sadek Leiter, then Caio Chavez and Leonardo Herman from Lucas Locatelli alongside Caio Castro, and then Andre Rosario and Celio Brasil. Antonella Bassani, the championship leader, she will start in 13th on the grid alongside Matthias Roque. Then Claudio Reina alongside Giuliano Bertochelli, Luis Souza and Claudio Chimiao, and then Sang Ho Kim, Vanya Pontes, Eric Santos, and Fabrizio Chimoes. So that will be the grid for the later race. But of course, our attention is going to be on this one, and it really is going to be an interesting challenge. The weather has not exactly improved from yesterday. It's certainly different compared to what it was yesterday. Now, I am told that there is going to be one car that is missing from the grid, and that is going to be the rather precarious situation that we had in yesterday's race. You may recall that during the course of yesterday, we had a big crash for Fabio Giaffoni, who ended up rolling his car rather badly through the Ferradura after a quick tag on the back of Christian Hahn's machine. He is okay, I can tell you that, but his car is not. So he will not be taking part in the second race of the weekend. So we have just 29 cars now preparing. As we get ourselves ready for the national anthem, everybody in ceremony in preparation for this second race of the weekend.
Desafio o nosso peito.
So back into the action we will go then for this second race of the weekend. Bibendum is enjoying himself down there on the starting grid, along with the drivers, the Michelin Man. For those who didn't know the name of the Michelin Man, it is of course Bibendum. And he is obviously enjoying himself, as he always does, in the Porsche Carrera Cup paddock. For those who are new to this championship, 25-minute races plus the additional lap following it. And it means that we're going to have a really exciting pair of races. And of course, with the rubber that goes down in this one, that will either benefit or hinder the Porsche Sprint Challenge Brazil. We had the mother of all rain showers yesterday. I know that if you're a motor racing fan, you know that it rains in Interlagos and it rains hard. But yesterday, I mean, that was taking the biscuit. You would have been forgiven for thinking that was a hurricane yesterday, to be brutally honest with you. And the way that the rain came down. For old school Formula One fans, think the mid-race downpour in 1993, then double it. I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm really not. We couldn't see a thing, so they put it under safety car due to an accident for one of the drivers in the Sprint Challenge. And then they realised, yeah, this race isn't going to get going. They waited till we got to 75% distance and they threw the checkered flag. The only sensible decision, but it means that, fortunately, we've still got a whole grid of race cars in Porsche Sprint Challenge. On board with Edu Guedes, the rookie driver, who's hoping for another strong result after the one he picked up yesterday. And it'll definitely be a tough race. The stands packed with spectators, as it's a very popular paddock, the Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil Championship grid. Got more spectators here than you would for a lot of the other national grade motor races. And there is the Farben Patras driver, Marcel Müller, who's going to be starting from the grid in a very strong position. Pole position for him after the victory he picked up yesterday. Can he make it 2 from 2? It's certainly important that he makes full advantage of it because his main championship rival, Miguel Peludo, in the red car to the left of your screen there briefly, is his main championship opposition. Christian Hahn and Werner Neugebauer, who have just dropped back in the championship fight. Not dropped out, but certainly dropped back in the championship fight. 3rd and 4th position on the grid for this one. Then Pedro Aguar alongside Lucas Salas. Pedro Aguar with a chance to make good after he started pole position in race 1 yesterday and then slowly tumbled down the order. It didn't go his way at all. And then he ended up getting caught up in the incident that took out Christian Hahn and Fabio Giaffoni. Giaffoni, of course, will not take the start after the crash damage that ensued from his barrel roll. So there is Miguel Peludo's car, the number 7 Brandt machine. Is he going to be leaving Interlagos as the championship leader, or will his points haul be overtaken by Marcel Müller? There is Christian Hahn for the Blau Motorsport team. His car has been repaired after his incident yesterday that saw him go into the side of Fabio Giaffoni's number 8 machine. And, his number 3 machine, I should say. It's his sister car, the number 8 of Werner Neugebauer. Bibendum really enjoying the party atmosphere, the carnival atmosphere down here at Interlagos. He's really enjoying the Brazilian heat as Miguel Peludo gears himself up ready in 2nd on the grid alongside Marcel Müller. The 2 championship contenders getting ready to go wheel to wheel, hell for leather, for the entirety of the 25 minutes plus the 1 lap. And don't forget, of course, that after this race, we go straight into the Sprint Challenge Brazil, 2nd encounter of the weekend. There's going to be challenge all the way through. In the sports category, of course, there's going to be an interesting battle as well. Lineu Perez is going to be lining up alongside Francisco Horta on the front row of their starting grid, which is essentially 8th and 9th on the grid. Then Peter Verter, who picked up so many great points yesterday for finishing 3rd overall, he will come through from 10th on the starting grid. And he, of course, has just crept into the lead of that particular category. So there's a lot for the drivers to be focusing in on in the closing stages of this weekend. Just to give you an idea of how things currently stand after yesterday's race in terms of the points battle. It was always going to be a pretty tricky situation for the drivers, but with Marcel Müller picking up the win and the fastest lap yesterday, it's definitely going to be an intriguing one as we get ourselves ready for the 6th race of the season. And it will be Marcel Müller, Miguel Peludo, Christian Hahn and Werner Neugebauer, then Pedro Aguar and Lucas Salas on the starting grid. Certainly going to be a very competitive race weekend conclusion. It is the 6th weekend of the Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil. Obviously, we've had 5 sprint weekends so far, including this one, and 1 endurance event that was at Estoril. So we have the season opener at Goiânia, then Velocita, then Interlagos on the April 4th weekend. Then the endurance at Estoril, and then we have the sprint at Estoril as well, just a week later. And then Interlagos gave us plenty to get excited about as well. There are 3 weekends left in the Porsche Cup Brazil calendar. On the 22nd of September, we are in Termas de Rio Hondo in Argentina, and that is for the second of the 3 endurance weekends this year. Then on the 2nd and 3rd of November, which is the weekend of the Formula One Sao Paulo Grand Prix on this very circuit at Interlagos, we are back for the final 2 sprint races of the season. And then we'll have the finale in endurance, the 9th weekend on the 16th of November. Guess where? Back here again. So it really is going to be an entertaining end to the season for the superstars on this grid. And so we get ourselves geared up, ready for the start of an exciting showcase. The Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil is ready, and it will be a very exciting second and final race of this weekend. Time to go to work. It's going to be an exciting battle for the final race weekend of the Sprint Challenge before we get to the business end of the season. And certainly the end of the 6th weekend of Porsche Cup Brazil in 2024 has given the fans plenty to get excited about down the pit lane here at Interlagos. 2 thrilling races yesterday. Now we're going to see what more can come of this exciting and very contentious duel. Yesterday, we saw some very exciting battles out on the course. We're going to see 2 more for the Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil here at Interlagos on the Autódromo José Carlos Pache in downtown Sao Paulo. 4.3 kilometers in length, and it's a colder day than we were expecting. 16 degrees Celsius air temperature. The circuit temperature is even colder than that, with an 81% humidity. 25 minutes plus 1 lap for both the Carrera Cup Brazil and Sprint Challenge Brazil races. And it is going to be a title fight from this moment on between Miguel Peludo and Marcel Müller, the 2 drivers fighting for the Porsche Brazil title in the Carrera Cup. There'll be a great battle as well in the Sprint Challenge later, so expect all sorts of fireworks. 29 drivers on the grid for this second race of the weekend. The only absentee is Fabio Giapponi after his accident in race 1. Gave him too much damage to continue the weekend. But at least he is okay. Hopefully he'll be back out in time for the next race in the calendar, which is on the 22nd of September at the Termas de Rio Hondo circuit in Argentina for the endurance event. So as the contenders get themselves geared up, ready for another exciting battle, we are very excited to see how this is going to play out. So many contenders ready for a good duel, and you're going to get one. It's Interlagos, and at the best of times, this place can really deliver some exciting motorsport. The fans are enjoying themselves on the main straight, and they're in for an exciting showcase of 25 minutes plus the additional lap. This is definitely going to be one of the races of the season. Yesterday provided a lot of drama and a lot of badinage between the drivers. Let's see what we can do as we venture out for the formation lap for the second and final time in Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil this weekend. So the championship leaders on the front row of the grid, their closest rivals are on the second of the grid. The championship is very much up to speed now as the drivers are gearing up ready for a showcase. It's greasy conditions, it's Interlagos, it's the home of Formula One in Brazil. It'll be an absolute cracker for 25 minutes plus the additional extra lap. On board with Edu Guedes as he warms up his tyres. Closing up on the battle in front of him, that's Gustavo Jalon, the former championship leader in rookie. Marcel Müller has got an onboard camera on his car as well. But now surely, time to talk you through this grid, and it is a competitive one. Marcel Müller and Miguel Paludo on the front row of the starting grid, the championship rivals. Christian Hahn and Werner Neugebauer trying to stay close to them. Second row of the grid. Pedro Aguar and Lucas Salas on the third row of the grid. Then Alsu Feldman is ahead of the leading sports driver, Linu Perez. Francisco Horta, the gambler, alongside Peter Ferter, the journeyman, 10th position on the grid. Georges Vangulis and Ryan Mascherano, who won the race outright in race 1 in Velocita. Then it's Bruno Campos alongside Nelson Marcondes on the 7th row of the grid. Then Ruben Zimkovic alongside Rodrigo Melo, who's hoping to bounce back after a difficult qualifying. Nelson Monteiro and Carlos Campos on the 9th row of the grid. To round out the top 20, 19th is Eduardo Menossi and Yosimar Junior in the Senna colours. Then it's Israel Salmen and Gustavo Janon, the rookie rivals, battling away on row 11. Edu Guedes is alongside Marcos Regodas, who's just hoping to keep it out of the wall today. Then it's Gustavo Fara in the Rainbow car. He won the rookie race yesterday with Marco Pagani alongside him. Then it's Piero Cifali alongside Paulo Salza in the Elefante car. And rounding out the grid, all on his own, is Ramon Alcaraz. Fabio Giafoni will not take the start after damage incurred in yesterday's race. So a truly spectacular second race is in the offing. The drivers are actually going around for a second formation lap, which is unusual for the championship. Normally they only go around once. But because of the change in conditions compared to yesterday, it's a lot colder, it's a lot greasier, the humidity is very high, the likelihood of rain is substantial in both this race and the Sprint Challenge race coming up. But it is really going to be an interesting situation as the cars are making their way around on this formation lap. They want to be in the best position possible to make good use of the situation, but obviously at the same time, they obviously want to make sure that they are in good close proximity. It's an important run for these drivers. They want to be in the best frame of mind. They want to make sure that the tyres and the brakes are up to temperature. It's going to be an interesting one for them to battle away, that is for sure. So as all of the contenders are ready for an exciting showcase now, we'll see whether Marcel Müller or Miguel Paludo is going to be the driver that can make the most of this situation. So we're in for a really intriguing challenge from all of the drivers here. I think we're going to see some really close rivalries through the course of this one, particularly keep an eye on the sport battle between Linu Perez, Francisco Horta and Peter Ferter, lining up 8th, 9th and 10th on the grid. They've also got Georges Vangulis and Ryan Mascherano for company. Bruno Campos, the leading rookie, quite a long way ahead of Eduardo Menossi. And then Israel Salman and Gustavo Janon, who really struggled in their second qualifying group. So there's actually a lot to take into consideration here. A lot can happen. The safety car is now bunching them up. Marcel Müller and Miguel Paludo, 1 and 2. This is an important race for both Christian Hahn and Werner Neugebauer, because they need to get back into contention somehow. They can hope that maybe there's going to be an incident between Müller and Paludo, and if they don't score, then it's up to Hahn and Neugebauer to get back into the frame ahead of the season finale doubleheader on this very circuit on the first weekend of November as a support pair of races to Formula One. So the lights go out on the top of the safety car, and Marcel Müller in the yellow, orange and white car, number 544, will go to battle with the Dayglow red of Miguel Paludo in the 7, the Brandt car. These two are the championship contenders. It'll be fascinating to see how their rivalry spills out with just 3 races to go in this year's championship. They come off the final turn. They'll have 3 sprint races and 2 endurance races left of the season. The red lights are on. When they go out, we're racing for the anti-penultimate time in 2024 in sprint. Paludo versus Müller. The lights go out. We're racing in Interlagos. And it's a brilliant start from Werner Neugebauer. It's going to be 3 wide for the first corner. Who's going to have the edge? Neugebauer trying to go right round the outside to pick up the move. Paludo snaking and braking. Hard back on the inside of Neugebauer. Salas trying to get up the inside of both men. There's a little bit of contact as running wide. That's Ryan Mascherano going over the escape road. And as they work their way through the curve of stall, it's Müller, Paludo, Christian Hahn in 3rd. Lucas Salas has come up the 4th place in front of Werner Neugebauer. And Linu Perez has made a terrific start to get into P6. Down to the braking zone for the Descida del Lago. And as they work their way through the 2 left-handers, that's Linu Perez trying to get up the inside of Peter Ferter, who's made another bold run round the outside. That's Pedrinho Aguar going wide in the white car with the blue and gold stripes, going wheel to wheel with Alsu Feldman into the braking zone for Ferradura. Vettel goes through on the inside, and there's a spin into Aguad, and there's big contact, big shunt. Yosemar Junior had nowhere to go. That's him out of the race for sure. Pedro Aguad will also be out. And I think that's also Marcondes, who's gone off the road as the rain cloud is getting pretty heavy. That is the 80 that's gone around. That is Roman Simkovic. More problems, and that's Marcos Regadas, yet again in dire straits. So for the second race in a row, Regadas is going to be out. Well, big drama on the opening lap, and that is Paulo Sousa. So the Elefante car of Paulo Sousa is in trouble, but his arm is in the air. Thumb is up, safety car, no question. So big drama here so far at Interlagos. It is not the way anybody wanted this to go. So it's not a green start, I'm afraid. There's Yosemar Junior's car to the right of your screen with the Senna helmet colours on his car. So we seem to have lost several drivers from the fray then. And that is the 12 that's out of luck. That's Marco Pisani. So Marco Pisani also caught up in the incident. I think there was actually 2 conflagrations in one fell swoop. So we've lost a lot of drivers from this incident as the last remaining cars come through to cross the line. And I make it that we've only got 23 of them. So Regadas out, Pedro Aguad out, Roman Simkovic out, Yosemar Junior out, Marco Pisani out, and Paulo Sousa out. So that is 6 retirements already, and of course 1 non-starter if you count Fabio Giaffoni. So that drew us down to 23 cars. You sense the urgency in this field as drivers really want to make advantage of everything. Here's the replay of the start. Look at Neugebauer to the left of your screen in the slightly day-glow yellow Porsche compared to Marcel Muller in the inside line. Now look at Peludo. He loses the car a little bit there under braking. That tightens up the field. The concertina effect boxes them in a bit. Salas goes up the inside of Hahn and Neugebauer as Mascherano takes to the escape road, then rejoins, and there's a little bit of a squabble between the drivers as they come through. Back to the inside line they go as the drivers continue to chop around on the main straight. Good run down to the braking zone, 100-metre board, 50-metre board. You've got to be so brave on this first lap. Looks like everybody made it through. Here's where it really kicked off. Look at Pedrinho Aguad. He gets on the curb and goes into the side of his opponent. That's where he spins around. Yosemar Junior hits his car, and there's more contact as I think Israel Salmen got into the side of Roman Simkovic. So let's look at it again. There's the first conflagration. Here comes the second one. Yes, look, Salmen takes out Simkovic, and then it's just a case of pick a line and hope you don't hit anything. Well, a monstrous impact as we ride on board with Guedes. Look, it's already kicking off in front of us. We're getting on the brake pedal. It's all gone wrong for so many drivers. Yosemar Junior had nowhere to go but into the side of Pedrinho Aguad. And there is a disastrous end to the race then for Yosemar Junior. Problems for Roman Simkovic. Too much damage. Paulo Sousa caught out as well on the next corner by the look of it. So that's Regadas, Simkovic, Aguad, Junior, Pisani and Sousa all out of the race. On board with Marcel Muller, leading the way at the end of the second lap. And of course the time still ticks down while we're on the safety car, so whatever the race distance is, it's reduced as a result of how long it takes to clean up the wreckage. Unfortunately for the teams and drivers, there's actually quite a lot of wreckage to clear up on this occasion. So the time is still ticking down, just 20 minutes or so left of the race remaining. Marcel Muller is your leader, Miguel Peludo in second, then Christian Hahn, Lucas Salas, Werner Neugebauer, Peter Peter and Lini Perez. And then Ryan Mascherano, 8th position in front of Alsu Feldman and Carlos Campos. So Francisco Horta has made a terrible start. He's down to 11th position ahead of Rodrigo Melo. Bruno Campos is in front of Nelson Montero. Then Gustavo Jan on 15th ahead of Eduardo Minossi, Edu Guedes and Israel Salmen, who of course got caught up in that first corner incident. Then Gustavo Fara, the race 1 winner yesterday in the rookie category. Then Ramon Alcaraz, Pedro Cifali and Georges Vangulis, who is the last car circulating. Well, it looks to me as though actually Marcos Regadas has got going again, and so too has Roman Simkovic. So the actual retirements are Nelson Marcondes, Pedrinho Aguad, Yosemar Junior, Marco Pisani and Paulo Sousa. Everybody else appears to still be relatively in good racing form. The love hearts coming through from the fans in the stands. Great to see. The fans are really loving the race action in Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil. Lights out on the safety car. So we're going to go racing this time by then. So expect the unexpected. We always get lots of it in spades in this category. And certainly on a greasy track like this one, where the temperatures are very low indeed, and the humidity is very high, 81% humidity coming into this one. So the rain is almost guaranteed at some point over the course of today. Whether or not it comes during the races, that is yet to be determined. But we're certainly going to have a really exciting challenge from all of the contenders on this restart. Marcel Muller backing the field up. Safety cars making for the pit lane. So after just 2 laps behind the safety car, we're going to go racing again as Josimar Junior and Paulo Sousa walk away from their cars. Oh, a mistake from Paludo on the restart because it's raining. It's actually raining on the restart. So Marcel Muller's going to charge up through Subida dos Porsches. And as they run through to Arquibacadas, it's going to be a great restart for Marcel Muller, who now has to put his windscreen wipers on. It's raining on the restart, and it's green here at Interlagos. So we go back into race trim, but obviously the rain is coming down. So Marcel Muller leads Miguel Paludo, then Christian Hahn, then Salas, Neugebauer. Looks like a big dive further back, as we got a nice duel for positions there. That's Francisco Horta getting the run there to run away from Rodrigo Melo. So they work their way down the Reto Aposta, and there's a few cars with their windscreen wipers on because the rain is coming down. It's green flags, but it is now raining on the course, and they've all got dry tyres, don't forget. This is the opposite of what happened yesterday. They made it to the end without incident. Sprint Challenge is where we got the rain, but it's coming down big time here as walking away from the scene. That is a very disgruntled race driver, one of the 6 to retire. Is up the inside, that's Ryan Mascherano getting through there, going wheel to wheel. And there is an investigation going on to the incident between Pedrinho Aguar and Josimar Junior. That's not a surprise. But Ryan Mascherano is dueling away here and has got ahead of Carlos Campos for the time being. Francisco Horta is all over the back of Rodrigo Melo behind them. Melo is going to try and have a look on the inside of Carlos Campos into the Pico de Pato. Don't think he's managed to make the move there. But the circuit's getting really greasy. Look how quickly Christian Hahn is dropping Lucas Salas as he hustles Miguel Paludo on this restart. Paludo runs very wide on the exit of Junsao. So Christian Hahn's going to have a run at him, surely, along the run here, along Subida dos Porsches. He didn't run wide, so he's going to have the momentum, and he's going to have more throttle. He'll go side by side, and he'll draw level and just pull ahead, but Paludo will still have the inside line for the Center S. Side by side all the way down the straight. Paludo determined to keep Christian Hahn at bay. Christian will not like that at all. You squeezed me through turn 1 there. So now Christian Hahn's going to come right back at him. Campos, meanwhile, going wheel to wheel with Rodrigo Melo in the background. Excellent stuff between Paludo and Hahn. Down the Reto Aposta, up to the Descida de Lagos. And here comes the move again from Christian Hahn as Rodrigo Melo's gone off at the Center S. So Rodrigo Melo trying to stay back in the race again. But it looks like he's picked up some damage. I think he struck the barriers. So going up the hill, up towards Ferradura. And the windscreen wipers ablaze for Miguel Paludo. Really struggling for grip. That's going to be Christian Hahn's move, surely. He dives through, gets in a second place. Lovely comeback from Christian Hahn. This is great news for Marcel Muller because that puts one more car between him and his main championship rival. Miguel Paludo struggling in the greasy conditions. You can see that the rain is getting worse. 15 minutes left of racing. Let's look at it again. Up through Ferradura. Look at the washout from Paludo. Front end goes loose. Christian Hahn dives up the inside. Takes the move out of Ferradura. Lovely. So really good overtake from Christian Hahn to go into second position. Paludo now down to third. Then it's Salas, Neugebauer, Ferter leading the way in front of Perez in the sport category. The leading rookie driver, by the way, is Bruno Campos ahead of Eduardo Menossi and Gustavo Janon. More problems for Israel Salmen. So Salmen is right in behind Janon. That's the move there on Gustavo Fara by, I think, Marcos Regodas. And the incident between 2 other drivers is being investigated as well. That's the 29 and the 14. So that is obviously problems between Carlos Campos and Rodrigo Melo. So they've both come off the road. Campos has lost a bit of time. Melo has lost a lot of time. So that incident is also being investigated, but obviously it hasn't brought out a safety car or anything like that. Marcel Muller is just jogging away up front. Christian Hahn in second into the Descida de Lago. Then Paludo. Then Salas in front of Neugebauer. Tiptoe your way through these corners. It's going to be slippery because it's raining and they're on dry tyres. It's Peter Fertel dealing with Lino Perez, the blue car and the lime green machine of Lino Perez. That's the victory in the sport class being debated. 14 minutes remain in this second race of the weekend in Carrera Cup Brazil. Lino Perez all over the back of Peter Fertel. And look at Miguel Paludo coming back. Oh, that's enough. That's a real spin there at the back of the field. That's Georges Frangoulis. He already got caught up in the first lap incident and recovered. Now Frangoulis has dropped to the very back of the field one more time. So let's see how he did it. It looks like it's at the Chita del Lago. It is. He's run deep and he's just skated off. Now, it's looking a little bit glassy on the runoff area there. That means there's more rain gone down. So when they come around this next time by, it's going to be sheet ice for these drivers on slick tyres. They're going to have to keep their wits about them now. So it looks like it's raining on some parts of the circuit, but not raining on all parts of the circuit. But Paludo is going to try and dial back in on Christian Hahn. They go across the start-finish straight, up to the centre S one more time. Paludo hungry to get back into second position. There's Hahn in the blue Blau Motorsport car. And then the bright red Porsche of Miguel Paludo. Fourth place, Lucas Salas. Then it's Werner Neugebauer. Then Peter Ferter in front of Lino Perez. There is Peter Ferter in the 56, the Agrochete car. They work their way down the Retro Aposta. Bit of a run wide from Alcy Feldman in the Tag Heuer Porsche, the green machine. Lino Perez has got a run here on Peter Ferter. Can he take it right round the outside? No, he's going to go slow in fast. Oh, there's Ferter overshoots. They both overshoot. And that's going to be a big catch for Lino Perez if he can save it on the exit. He has spun it. I thought he wasn't going to be able to save it. They're really struggling for grip now. And Lino Perez has thrown the lead of sport away. And now Edu Guedes is going to lose it. Oh, into the barriers. Our camera car has gone straight into the tyres. Well, I think we're going to get safety car now. That's big damage for Edu Guedes. The rain coming down. It's getting greasy. It's very reminiscent now of Formula One in 2008. Safety car. No surprises. Edu Guedes, big damage to the front end splitter. And the safety car comes out for the second time in this race. My goodness me, it's getting dramatic out there again. Well, already a lot of spice in this race as Edu Guedes tries his best to recover. Works his way back into the pits, and I think that will be to retire. Well, big drama then for Edu Guedes, but not that we weren't expecting, because this is a very tough race circuit when it rains, and it's really come upon them without much warning in the middle of a tough race battle out there. Now, the big question is, how is the rain going to affect the Porsche Sprint Challenge Brazil drivers? Because it is raining, but I wouldn't say it's wet enough for wet tyres. So if it stays at this intensity, yes, it's slippery out there, but it's not going to be wet enough for wet tyres. They're just going to have to cope with it as best as they can. Let's have a replay. Now, this is Lino Perez. Look, he just got wide on the exit curb of the Chita del Lago, and that's how he spun. I thought he was losing it when he ran wide, and the car just washes out from underneath him. And we went on board with Edu Guedes at exactly the wrong time, because he went off the road and went straight into the barriers. And that's going to be game over for him. There's Paulo Sousa. I'm okay. I'm out of the race, but you know what? I'm all right. And when you've had an incident like that on the opening lap, that is where you get to be thankful for small mercies. So let's take stock of the situation then, because it's been a little bit chaotic leading up to this point. Several retirements as we are under safety car for the second time here at Interlagos. We're going to see another replay. This is Edu Guedes coming through to Chita del Lago. Look, there's water in the middle of the road. He tries to get on the throttle. He hits the curb. He hits the throttle. Bang! Tank slapper. I'm going to the wall. Thank you and good night. Ugh, what a shame. Just a little bit of throttle. If he'd have just coasted that car through on the curb and then got back on the throttle when he got back on the track, there would never have been contact with the barrier there. But he just got impatient. It's a racing driver's instinct once you've made the apex of the corner to get back on the throttle. Look at the rain coming down now. It's getting pretty hectic out there. Marcel Müller is the leader under safety car. Christian Hahn second from Miguel Paludo, Lucas Salas, Werner Neugebauer and Alcy Feldman. Then Peter Ferter, the leader in sport, ahead of Ryan Mascherano, who is now there in position in second, thanks to the spin for Lino Perez. Francisco Horta is in 9th place, 3rd in sport, as we ride on board with the race leader Marcel Muller. 10th is now Nelson Monteiro, ahead of Bruno Campos, Eduardo Menossi and Israel Salman, the rookies. Marcos Regadas is up to 14th. Gustavo Janon is 15th, ahead of Carlos Campos. Then Gustavo Fara, then Ruben Simkovic. Then it is Rodrigo Melo, Ramon Alcaraz, Edu Guedes and Piero Cifali. And I think Linu Perez actually struck the wall there when he went into the barriers, so he's out of the race. And so too is Georges Frangoulis, so too is Nelson Marcondes, Pedrinho Aguar, Yosemar Junior, Marco Pisani, Paulo Souza, and of course, so too is Fabio Giaffoni, who didn't take the start. So how many cars have we still got racing? Well, incredibly, we've got 22 out of the 30 that should have started. Windscreen wipers ablaze here, but the rain is coming down. But it's not as heavy as it was yesterday. And let's not forget that when it rains in Interlagos, it is unpredictable. So this heavy intensity of rain, I would say, is not good enough for wet tyres, because there's a little bit of grease out on the circuit now, a little bit of surface moisture, but you wouldn't put wet tyres on this. And the way to tell is, can you see any spray coming off the tyres, any jets of water throwing up behind the car? The answer is no, because even if it was intense enough for wet tyres behind the safety car, you would see a little bit of spray coming up. There isn't enough water on the circuit for that yet. So at the moment, it's not a wet tyre circuit. It is still a slick tyre circuit, but it's slick tyre plus bravery equals hope. So Marcel Muller in front of Christian Hahn and Miguel Paludo. Lucas Salas P4 ahead of Werner Neugebauer and Alcy Feldman. Some very nervous spectators down there in Marcel Muller's garage, hoping that he can hang on for a second win this weekend, which would definitely strengthen his championship attack, with 2 races to go after this one on this very circuit in November during the Sao Paulo Grand Prix weekend. Lights are still on the safety car, so clearly a lot of debris from Edu Guedes' car still needs to be recovered at the Descida do Lago. So this is going to be the completion of lap 9. Safety car, yellow flags, of course, around the course, as well as the slippery flag, the slippery surface flag, the red and yellow stripes, sorry. So that will just indicate to the drivers to take care. I think they're well aware of that by now. So the safety car just patrolling the course as we go into lap number 10. 6 minutes left, plus, of course, the additional lap when the time runs down to 0. How many more racing laps are we actually going to get? I don't think it's many. Maybe 3 at best, depending, of course, on when we go racing again. If we go back to racing on this lap, then I think we're in a good position for it. But certainly it is tough to ascertain that situation at the moment. Down the straight, the safety car still holds station in front of Marcel Muller. On board with him we go. Christian Hahn second, Miguel Paludo third, then Lucas Salas, Werner Neugebauer, Alcy Feldman, Peter Ferter, Ryan Mascherano, Francisco Horta, and coming down pit road again is Edu Guedes. Now this is not the first time he's done this. He came in originally after the big impact, and now he's coming down pit road yet again. So Linu Perez, by the way, has got started again, I'm told. So Linu Perez is making his way back around. But he is 3 laps down from everybody else. I think he's just trying to see how many points he can salvage from the sport category. It's not a bad bet, actually. We're about to go racing again. And if a couple more drivers in the sport category drop out of the race in the next couple of laps, you never know. He might actually pick up a top 5 finish in the category. And that will certainly help with his championship aspirations. So let's see what happens on this restart. Still raining in parts of the course. It's nowhere near as heavy as it was at the end of the Sprint Challenge race yesterday. But we're going to get some really thrilling conclusions to the race weekend here at Interlagos. 5 minutes to go, plus the additional lap, the safety car. He's going to leave them to it. Marcel Muller's going to back them up. So the safety car will drive away. That is the Porsche Taycan safety car. So Marcel Muller just backing up the pack. He wants to make the perfect restart here. He's trying to catch Christian Hahn out. Paludo almost into the back. Here we go. You've got to get on the throttle in these greasy conditions. You don't want to be messing around. You just want to go charging for a Subida dos Porsches, and then you'll come through. Arquibacadas. So it's going to be an interesting one then for our race leader, Marcel Muller, who's still weaving, trying to get temperature in the tyres. Christian Hahn may have got a better job of this. Green, 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 green. We're back to race action. 4 minutes 10 on the clock. Neugebauer trying to pressure Lucas Salas into turn 1. Paludo has got Lucas Salas for company. He runs wide. The back end kicks out. Lucas Salas may be able to get him, braking for centre S. And it's a big slide from Muller and Hahn. Lucas Salas is going to try and take on Paludo. Down the Reto Pasta. Werner Neugebauer trying to get onto the inside of Lucas Salas as well. But the rain is coming down still. It's a little harder than it was before. So down to the braking zone, Marcel Muller's just got to be careful. Elsie Feldman will dive up the inside to take 5th position away from Lucas Salas. Look at the back end of these Porsches. They're top heavy and the acceleration really can throw these cars around into a pirouette. Running wide. That is, I think, that's going to be Peter Verter running wide, I think. He manages to get back on the track. And now Christian Hahn right round the outside of Marcel Muller for the lead. So close for Christian Hahn. He almost makes it. But Marcel Muller is tippy-toeing. Christian Hahn is in championship assault mode. He needs to get some points here off of Marcel Muller. Muller is parking the bus. Hahn is going to go round the outside of the Vigo de Pato. Is there going to be enough grip? He'll try and go for the undercut. Muller still holding him. Christian Hahn right there. They drift round to the outside of Junsao. Through Majulio. And then up to the Jinsao corner. Marcel Muller moving to cover Christian Hahn. Slow in, fast out. Can Christian Hahn overhaul him? He's going to try and outbox him. They go up the hill one more time. This is amazing racing. So little grip to be had for either car, but it's all on instinct now. Marcel Muller leading Christian Hahn. They come over the line one more time. Hahn is pulling out of the slipstream. Side by side down the straight. Marcel Muller, race leader. Christian Hahn trying to get him down to the braking zone for the centre S. Who's going to get there first? It is Muller. Hahn has got to be brave. Switcheroo trying to get back on the undercut. Run wide from Muller. Christian Hahn's going to try and go the long way round Governor Sol. He's going to be alongside. Can he finish the job? Christian Hahn takes the lead at Interlagos. Beautiful. Christian Hahn in the Blau Porsche leads with 2 minutes to go. Marcel Muller had to let him go. Absolutely amazing. Now he runs wide at the Chita del Lago. But Marcel Muller's too cautious on the inside line. So that's enough for Christian Hahn to stretch a couple of car lengths away. Behind them in 3rd is still Paludo. Then it's Neugebauer. Then it is Elsie Feldman. And they're just all pulling away because they're now just trying to tiptoe their way around and finish the race as carefully as they can. And the gaps are spreading. Oh, big shot. That is Piero Cifali. And that is another off. That's Carlos Campos. So Campos has gone off there. 2 incidents in 1 lap. Let's watch this again from Christian Hahn, putting pressure on Marcel Muller. Down to the braking zone. He squeezes Muller, forces him to run wide. Hahn then tucks back in. Slow in, fast out. He's got purchase. He's got a little bit of traction as well. And this run around the outside of Curva del Sol. Amazing from Christian Hahn. And that has put him back in the championship fight for me. Magic. Magic from Christian Hahn. That was a do or die overtake. He needed to make that work. And it really was fantastic to make it at that point. Now, this is further round. There goes Carlos Campos swapping ends. And in unison, he also gets a moment there from Rumen Zimkiewicz. And there's another spinner. That's a 3rd spinner into the barriers. That is Roman Alcaraz. Now, if Alcaraz has kept going, we can keep racing. And that is exactly what's happened. There's another spinner. Well, that is Piero Cifali from the original incident. So surely we're going to go safety car with just a few seconds to go if Cifali can't move. As the cars are going to come up towards him. So we've got to wait for the race control call. Well, we've got the final few seconds. They really want to keep this green racing to the end if they can. But I think it's too much to ask of the situation. Safety car, they had to do it. They had to call it. So it will be neutralised. The race will finish under safety car. Well, they really were backed into a corner there by Cifali going off the road. That certainly tightens things up in the championship fight a bit for Christian Hahn. He makes a big gain there on Muller and Paludo. Werner Neugebauer will be 4th in this one from Elsie Feldman and Lucas Salas. And there's a lot of nervous scenes down here in pit lane. I think they've just figured out that this is going to be a victory for Christian Hahn. devastating for Marcel Muller. Of all the times for the safety car to come out, couldn't it have come out a lap ago? It's certainly no good from his point of view. And there, look, Piero Cifali is actually moving again. That is the bitter irony of it all. Cifali has got his car going again, but they had to call the safety car. They had no choice. So the race is going to finish under safety car by virtue of the fact that we have run out of time and we've got 2 laps to go. Whatever happens, the safety car hasn't caught up to the pack. So it's going to be a safety car formation finish, but it could have been so much worse. So Christian Hahn will go into the final lap and he will take some crucial victory points away from Marcel Muller, who will finish second to Miguel Peludo. Werner Neugebauer is going to be 4th position ahead of Alsu Feldman. Then Lucas Salas, and then the winner in the sport category is going to be Ryan Mascherano. No, it's going to be Peter Verter, because Ryan Mascherano made a mistake on that lap while leading. So Peter Verter got him back again for 7th place. Look at the prayers for the Blau Motorsport team and Christian Hahn. Just because he's leading under safety car doesn't mean he's won it yet. It will finish under safety car. They can't overtake, but if his car doesn't make it there, then he will not win the race. So now they're just hoping and praying that the cars will make it back to the pits in their current order. But it is going to be Peter Verter who gets the sport victory ahead of Ryan Mascherano, Marcos Regadas, Francisco Horta and Nelson Monteiro. And in the rookie category, the victory is going to go to Eduardo Minossi. He'll be ahead of Israel Salman and Bruno Campos. 4th place for Gustavo Janon. It's been a nightmare weekend for him. So Janon is going to lose his championship lead in rookie here, I think, to Israel Salman as we go to the last sprint weekend of the year at Interlagos on the 2nd and 3rd of November. Well, it's a very unfortunate end to the race for the purists, but at the same time, with the rain coming down on slick tyres, it was always going to cause problems for the drivers out there. The big talking point, though, is that I don't think it's going to be wet enough for wet tyres for the sprint challenge. So they're going to have it even tougher than these guys, because they're not going to get any decent running in the 2 formation laps prior to the start of the race. It's going to be a nightmare for them. Marcel Muller gets himself ready to take the checkered flag in 2nd place behind Christian Hahn, who pulled off the mother of all overtakes around the outside of the Curva do Sol. Just a few seconds before Piero Cifali binned it into the barriers and brought out the safety car. Frustratingly, he did get it going again, but it changes nothing. Christian Hahn will come out of the final turn, and across the line, the checkered flag is there, and Christian Hahn takes the win in the 2nd race of the weekend. Brilliant result for the Blau crew, and for Christian Hahn, it is victory here at Interlagos, ahead of Marcel Muller and Miguel Peludo. Great result for Christian Hahn, a fighting drive as well. A real fighting drive from Christian Hahn. He needed to do an amazing job to get the win away from Marcel Muller. He really had to wrestle for the win. That's exactly what he was prepared to do. So Marcel Muller is defeated by Christian Hahn. Miguel Peludo, championship leader, coming into the weekend in 3rd. The title fight is still very much between Muller and Peludo, with Christian Hahn closing in a little in that 3rd race. But it'll be all about the first race at Interlagos on the 2nd and 3rd of November. That'll be when we figure out really how much of a race battle for the title we'll still have. But an excellent performance today from Christian Hahn. A very deserving winner. Marcel Muller 2nd, Miguel Peludo in 3rd from Werner Neugebauer and Alsu Feldman. Lucas Salas in P6. The winner in the sport category is Peter Verter, ahead of Ryan Mascherano and Marcos Regadas. Well, that didn't look like it was on earlier on in the race. It certainly wasn't looking at 3rd place in the sport category earlier on. The rookie win will go to Eduardo Minossi, with the top 3 finished by Israel Salman and Bruno Campos. Gustavo Janon and Gustavo Fara will be in the top 5. So there is the winner in sport, Peter Verter, ahead of Ryan Mascherano and Marcos Regadas. 4th will be Francisco Horta. 5th in the class will be Nelson Monteiro. Congratulations to this man, Peter Verter, in the Agrochete car, the number 56. He takes another sport victory ahead of this man, Ryan Mascherano. He got the victory overall, don't forget, at Velocita earlier in the season, but he wasn't due to get one on this occasion. There is the winner in rookie, Eduardo Minossi, in the Ocean 185 car, the pink machine of Eduardo Menossi, taking the victory in front of Israel Salmen and Bruno Campos in the class. A really exciting race, that one. But still, if you look at the track surface, it's wet, but it's not wet enough for wet tyres. So we're going to go straight into the Porsche Sprint Challenge with all sorts of carnage coming. So celebrations then for Christian Hahn and the Blau team. Here he comes out of the car. This is going to be a sweet celebration for his victory. Jubilation in the number 26 crew. Christian Hahn for Blau has come through for the win. He climbs the roof. He wants to celebrate in the traditional style. They put the roof guard on the top of the roof, and it's where all the drivers go to celebrate. Jumping on the top of the roof, Christian Hahn celebrates at Interlagos. He needed a firecracker of a move to get past Marcel Müller. He duly delivered one. Excellent race. Biederfelter in the victory in the sport category, ahead of Ryan Mascherano and Marcos Regadas. And in rookie, Eduardo Menossi, who was 11th overall, took the rookie victory ahead of Israel Salmen and Bruno Campos. A very happy Biederfelter. Victory in sport. And Eduardo Menossi, jubilant winner in rookie. This has been such a tough rookie campaign. Obviously, there's so many mistakes in rookie over the course of a season. But Eduardo Menossi taking a very critical victory. Christian Hahn then, the winner overall after a great fight with Marcel Müller in very tricky, greasy, slippery conditions. Marcel Müller was defeated. It was not going to be a double victory then. It was destined for Christian Hahn to pick up a win on Sunday after Marcel Müller's win on Saturday. And that really does keep the battle alive. Look at this duel between them. Christian Hahn really forcing Marcel Müller to do all the hard work here. Müller goes long. So tightening up. There goes the move from Christian Hahn. Watch on the exit. Slow in. Fast out. Marcel Müller's travelling across the apex. So round the outside comes Christian Hahn. Decides to keep his foot in. What the hell? There's only one way to say by championship. I've got to beat Marcel Müller. So round the outside of the Curva de Sol. What an overtake. Brilliant from Christian Hahn. And it's a race-winning move. And if they have an awful round at Interlagos in November for Marcel Müller and Miguel Paludo, then suddenly that move becomes a championship-winning move. Very important indeed there for Christian Hahn to get it right. He really wanted to. He really wanted to showcase how good a driver he is in these changeable conditions. And he certainly made sure of it. Finishing under safety car, Christian Hahn takes the win, vanquishing the likes of Marcel Müller and Miguel Paludo, the championship contenders. That keeps Christian Hahn in the gas a little bit longer. So here we are, three winners. Christian Hahn wins in Carrera Cup. In sport, Eduardo Menossi. Fantastic finish for all three. The provisional result, Christian Hahn coming home in front of Marcel Müller and Miguel Paludo, the championship contenders in the top. Bauer not far away. Elsie Feldman in P5, Luc in P6. Peter Ferran Mascherano and Marcos Regadas, the top three ahead of Francisco. Eduardo Menossi, the winner in rookie, is 11. Luc Monteiro, then Israel Salmen, Bruno Campos and Gustavo Rumen Zimkiewicz, Gustavo Farah, Carlos Campos, Ramon Alcaraz, and Piero Cefali. And they were the only finishers race. Plenty of retirements. Redo, Edu Guedes, Linus Fragulis, Nelson Marcondes, Aguar, Yosimar Marco Pisani, Paulo Souza, did start, Christian Hahn, Fabio Giaffoni. What will that do for the championship fight? Well, it's going to tighten things up even more between Miguel Paludo and Müller. In fact, Miguel Paludo is championship, but only on track. Marcel Müller has the same amount of points. Go dead level final round. Christian Hahn 40 points back, and Neugebauer on 164, 50 points back. Giving Paludo and for the title. And they are dead level. 40 points clear of Christian Hahn. But Paludo and Müller have the same number of points. going into the season finale in sprint at Interlagos on the Sao Paulo Grand Prix weekend. Whoever beats the other for the final points tally on that circuit, this circuit, I should say, on that weekend, will become the Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil champion of 2024. It is a dead heat now in the points table between Peludo and Muller. Only Peludo leading it on countback. But that really does show you how tight at the top it is. So the podium ceremony then for the Porsche Carrera Cup from C6 Bank. It's going to be two separate qualifying performances there. Two separate podiums, I should say. And we're going to need it to finish off in fine style here because we've got two separate competitions. So we're going to see some very nice podium finishes then from the contenders in this one. But it is a really special end to the weekend for our competitors. There is the podium being completed. Alcy Feldman makes his way to 5th position. The top 5 get a trophy, of course, in this particular category. So Alcy Feldman lifts his trophy in P4. Werner Neugebauer lifts his in 4th. Miguel Peludo will be 3rd. He is now tied for points with Marcel Muller in the Drivers' Championship with 2 sprint races to go in November back on this circuit. But Christian Hahn takes the bragging rights and the victory. Brilliant performance and a brilliant victory. 40 points back from the 2 leaders. They've got to have a nightmare to lose this championship. But Christian Hahn stands proud on the top spot of the podium. So as the boys get busy with the fizzy, a great performance and a very exciting spectacle from the drivers once again. Excellent stuff and a really close run. Christian Hahn taking a very deserving victory indeed. And so the drivers finish off in fine Vettel, and a fine competitive race battle comes to a conclusion. So now we're going to get to see them after a truly spectacular pair of races. That'll go to the season finale, and it will be a very interesting season finale, that is for sure. They've got the endurance race at Termo de Rio Sondo beforehand. That's in Argentina on the 22nd of September. But Christian Hahn certainly lays down the gauntlet to Marcel Muller, who now levels Miguel Peludo in the championship fight, both on 214 points apiece. We've got a showdown at the season finale. Here are the 5 drivers on the sport podium. 5th position for Nelson Monteiro. Good run for him. 4th position for Francisco Horta, the gambler. Does not quite come up with the goods this time. 3rd position for Marcos Regadas. That's a relief after the weekend he has had in 3rd position. Ryan Mascherano, 2nd place here at Interlagos. But the race win goes the way of Peter Vettel for the 2nd race in a row. And he's now looking so strong in the sport category, heading to the season finale on this very circuit in November. He'll have a chance to play at Termas de Rio Hondo before that in September, of course. But the champagne flies in the sport podium. Very good work indeed from Peter Vettel. Just got on with the job. Had a lot of pressure initially from Lineu Perez. Let that all unfold. Let Lineu make the mistake early on. And when he dropped out of it, that was the chance for Peter Vettel to just take his time. He had all sorts of drivers around him trying to take the win away, but it was always going to be the calm, cool composure of Peter Vettel that won the day. Excellent work and a great display of calm, composed discipline from Peter Vettel. So nicely handled from the Agrachete car, and that's a 2nd win this weekend in the sport class. The final podium ceremony will be the rookie category, and it's 5 very deserving drivers on that podium once again as well. 5th position for Gustavo Fara, took the win yesterday, another podium today. 4th position for Gustavo Janon, still fighting for the title, don't forget. 3rd position going the way of Bruno Campos, led the race in the initial part of it for so long. 2nd place for Israel Salmen, that gives him a big boost in the championship fight. But the winner in rookie, Eduardo Menossi, and very deservingly so as well. Excellent performance from Eduardo Minossi. He'll be so happy with that. The rookies driving very well indeed here in Carrera Cup Brazil. And one more time, the boys will celebrate on the rostrum. In fact, all 5 of them are going to squeeze onto that top step. They can all just about fit. And they will celebrate in fine style. Well done to a very talented Eduardo Minossi. Kept his cool all the way throughout. It was never going to be easy. So now we go to the rolling formation lap for the sprint challenge. And it's time to see if Miguel Mariotti can get more of this work done to slender the gap to himself and Antonella Bassari. Still greasy conditions, still not full wets. Let's talk you through the starting grid. Miguel Mariotti and Christian Moore lining up on the front row of the starting grid for this one. Second row, Seba Marucelli, the leader in sport. Alcifer Manito, the leader in rookie. Gerson Campos and Sadek Leiter working hard in the challenge category on row 3. Then Carlos Chavez and Leonardo Herman, rookie versus sport. Rounding up the top 10, Lucas Locatelli alongside Caio Castro. 11th on the grid for André Rosario alongside Celia Brasil. Disappointing, 12th on the grid for him. Even more so for the championship leader, Antonella Bassani, 13th, beside Matthias Roque. Then Claudio Reina beside Giuliano Bertuccelli on the 8th row of the grid. Row 9 will see Luis Souza alongside Claudio Chimiao. And then behind them we have Sanyo Kim lining up beside Vanier Pontes. The final driver on the grid in 21st is going to be Eric Santos. Fabricio Chimoes is not going to take the start. So we've only got 21 cars out there. For some reason, we've not got Fabricio Chimoes. I'm not entirely sure what the reason for that is. Maybe it's because of the damage to his car earlier on. But as you can see, it's getting misty out there. Scenes of Formula 1 1996 starting to become very much a comparison. There is rain coming down, but it's not heavy enough to warrant a switch to rain tyres. That's the problem they've got. It's the most impossible conditions imaginable for a race like this. If it was full wet, that would be one thing. If it was full dry, that would be another. But this is halfway between the two. The only choice of tyre is slicks, but they will be like ice skates. And the drivers will have it so tough out there, they'll be like drunk dads at a wedding on roller skates. With ice cubes strapped to the wheel for good measure. Dear oh dear, this is not going to be easy for Miguel Mariotti. Our cameraman is Lucas Locatelli. Tightened up behind Leonardo Herman on the grid. What kind of progress can he make? And this is Miguel Mariotti, the pole sitter. He's got pressure to try and get down more of the gap between himself and Antonella Bassani, who had a horrifying qualifying session yesterday in both sessions. So can Antonella Bassani bounce back from 13th on the grid? Or is this going to be Miguel Mariotti versus Christian Moore to the checkered flag? Seba Marucelli in 3rd position. Lightning McQueen in 4th. I do beg your pardon, it is Alcifer Manito. But the colour scheme is certainly Lightning McQueen colours. Hence the rather deliberate mistake there. So let's see what happens. Mariotti will come out of Junsao up towards Subida dos Poches. And then as the two tram lines will come through together in formation, we're going to see a very interesting start indeed. Miguel Mariotti and Christian Moore. Well, Mariotti is charging away a long way ahead on this start. Well, hang on a minute. Weren't we supposed to be going for 2 rows of the grid? Mariotti has charged away and it's green, 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 green. So this is confusion at the start. We're under safety car, but I'm fairly sure they were supposed to go in 2 rows. Well, anyway, the race has started and the field has come through. Now, there could be an investigation for Miguel Mariotti for that. As they work their way through the Center S for the first time, Mariotti has charged away. 2nd for Christian Moore, then Seba Marucelli. And already trying to work their way through. That's the 177 of Lucas Locatelli, trying to keep himself very favourable on the run down the back straight. And there's a spin. There's a spin right in the path of another car. Fortunately, there's no contact from anyone else. But that is going to be Alcifer Manito getting through on the inside of Christian Moore. And Moore is going to try and take him back again as they run side by side out of the Descida del Lago up to Ferradura. Mariotti leads, and here comes El Sunito into 2nd position. He dives in and gets it from Christian Moore, who now runs around the far side. Looks like Gerson Campos is trying to work his way to 4th position. He has done so. So Gerson Campos has taken on Seba Marucelli. We're struggling to see through the rain on the camera lens now. So I don't know whether we were supposed to be going on a single file. I thought we were going double stack. I certainly didn't hear anything about the change in format. Sadek Leiter trying to close up on Seba Malucelli as they go through the Pico de Pato for the first time. There is Gaio Chavez going round the outside of Leonardo Herman. Herman is trying not to get into hot water here with a strong challenge coming from Cherio Brasil. Now, where is Antonella Bassani? She's trying to work her way forward as Cherio Brasil dives for the inside of Leonardo Herman. There's no love lost between them. Then it's Gaio Castro behind the hard-charging Lucas Locatelli, and I think that is Antonella Bassani working her way through. Sadek Leiter trying to battle away there. Sadek Leiter having a big challenge forward from Leonardo Herman as they come across the line. It's Mariotti who leads. Then Alcifel Manito trying to shake off Christian Moore. Fourth is Campos, then Malucelli, Chavez, Herman, Leiter, Brasil and Locatelli. Mariotti has pulled well clear off the start as a result of the single file formation. So Mariotti leads the way from Alcifel Manito, then Moore, then Campos, then Malucelli, Chavez, Herman, Leiter, Brasil and Locatelli. Then it's Castro in front of Antonella Bassani. Drivers trying to stay off the curb on the exit of the Curva do Sol. They do not want to spin off the road. The driver who spun off on the first lap, incidentally, was Matheus Roque, and he did not get started again. So Matheus Roque out of the race on the first lap. Mariotti leads. Then Nito, here comes Christian Moore, trying to dive up the inside in Ferradura. Not going to happen. Alsu Nito, very comfortable in these conditions, it seems, and hanging on to second position. So through they go. Matheus Roque has rejoined, by the way, actually. He has managed to continue on, albeit at the back of the field. And Christian Moore having a big one. Luis Souza didn't have the best of laps either. He's dropped all the way back. So I'm not entirely sure what happened to Luis Souza, but he's now only got Eric Santos and Matheus Roque behind him. Gerson Campos trying to really push on to Christian Moore. These are the worst driving conditions for these Sprint Challenge Brazil competitors because it's not wet and it's not dry. Replay. Now this is a sideways Locatelli going right off the road at Ferradura. Can he catch it back? Yes, he can, is the answer. So Christian Moore hustling Alcifel Manito. Look at the lead that Mariotti's built up. If they really did mean to go single file, then that was news I wasn't privy to. If they were meant to go 2x2, then obviously Miguel Mariotti has falled up there, so I don't really know exactly what the score is. Carlos Chavez trying to dive up the inside of Seba Malucelli. Certainly Mariotti has the advantage, leading away out in the front end of the field. 2.9 seconds clear now of Alsunito. Then it is Christian Moore, Gerson Campos, Seba Malucelli and Carlos Chavez. We just saw him going through the shot. Then it's Leonardo Herman, Sadek Leiter, Cherio Brasil, Lucas Locatelli and Antonella Bassani has got her way to 11th. So Seba Malucelli trying to shake off Gaio Chavez. Chavez trying to get the move on the undercut, so nearly sliding off the road into the barriers there on the exit. Just got out of the throttle at the right moment to thwart the onslaught. Antonella Bassani is battling at the moment with Gaio Castro. So Alsunito, the young son of Elsie Feldman, running very carefully in the Rust-eze colours from the Disney Pixar Cars saga. Running in second position, Lightning McQueen in Brazilian form. Look at the rain. It is so difficult out there at the moment. Now let's have a replay. This is Gaio Castro. Is he going to get a tank snapper on? Well, Antonella Bassani very nearly loses it. What a save from the teenager. She manages to catch it. And that's a run wide there from Claudio Chimiao. So Chimiao hopping over the curbs at the Senna S. These really greasy conditions out here. 19 minutes and 48 seconds to go. So it is tricky stuff at the moment. Up the hill, through Subida dos Porches. And still Miguel Mariotti leads the way here from Alcifel Benito and Christian Moore. I am astonished at the composure and discipline of the drivers so far. Not many incidents. Christian Moore's got a run and Alsunito down to the braking zone for Senna S. Can Alsunito hold on to this? Christian Moore drives right round the outside of him for second position. Lovely move from Christian Moore. So Christian Moore into second place ahead of Alsunito. Fourth position behind them is Gerson Campos. Let's watch it again. Just full of confidence round the outside. Christian Moore says, no, mate, I'm going to have you. And round the outside into the centre as he goes. If that was dry, there's no way he would have had the conviction to do that. But in the damp conditions, he felt he had a car that could make it work. and he's got the move done. Now there is Lucas Locatelli down to 10th position, just in front of Antonella Bassani in the Mobile Move car. So Antonella Bassani, the number 72, the teenage talent, and she finds herself knocking on the door of top 10, but this is so difficult to hold on to. This is what the drivers work for in terms of grip, in terms of upper body strength. Everything's got to be just so to keep the car on the racetrack, but these cars are very rear heavy. Here comes a move from Gerson Campos on El Sunito for 3rd position. Thank you very much. I'll get that done on the way to the Pico de Pato. So Gerson Campos into 3rd now. El Sunito's just got to be careful. This is like the opening sequence to Disney Pixar Cars 3. Lightning McQueen fading down the field. Now there is Luis Souza. He's had an off somewhere, so he's now just ahead of Matthias Roque. Nobody else. So that drops Luis Souza all the way to 20th. Here comes Miguel Mariotti. No investigation coming in for Mariotti's, in commas, jump start. So I would assume then that they knew that the procedure was going to be single file. And Miguel Mariotti just got a better start than everybody else. If he has broken the rules there and gone single file by accident, then obviously there would be an investigation into it by now. But seeing as there's not, I assume that everybody knew they were going to go single file, and Mariotti just disappeared into a comfortable lead. So now we've got a great challenge going on here between Campos in 3rd, Felmanito in 4th, and Seba Malucelli in 5th position. Then Carlos Chavez, then Leonardo Herman, then Leiter, Cherio Brasil, and Antonella Bassani now up to 10th position. Here's the move from Alci Felmanito. It's late! You've got to know you're going to bail out of that one, Alci, which he does. So Alcinito, the teenage son of Alci Feldman. Alcinito, just 16 years of age, the youngster. But now we've got Leonardo Herman fancying his chances around the outside of Carlos Chavez. This is for P6. He gets very close in behind the rear splitter. So Carlos Chavez holds the move for the moment. Still really greasy conditions here at Interlagos. Bit of a run wide from Chavez, able to counteract it on the escape, on the exit. Through the left now. And then back up the charge to the Pico de Pato once more. So they've come out of Pinheirinho. And then through Pico de Pato. Then dropping down through Majolio. Up towards Junsao. Still very tight. There is the championship leader, Antonella Bassani, now in front of this man, Lucas Locatelli. So Antonella Bassani picking up another crucial overtake. Really needs to get that done sooner rather than later. Up to 10. That's Alci Felmanito. Alci Felmanito loses it at Junsao. So Alci Felmanito drops it. Lightning McQueen is gone. Let's see how he did it. All on his own is the answer. A rookie error from a rookie driver. So unfortunate for Alci Felmanito. He has got going again. So we're not going to get a safety car, but Alci Felmanito's chances of an overall podium well and truly washed out. And he recovers now in front of Giuliano Bertuccelli, I think. No, sorry, in front of Claudio Schimau. So that is going to put him in 4th position in rookie. Well, it's also going to drop him all the way to 16th place, I think. 15th position in actuality. So Mariotti leads, Moore 2nd, Campos is 3rd. And 3rd position, Campos is dropping a long way back from Mariotti and Moore. Christian Moore has actually set the fastest lap of the race. Look, he's catching Miguel Mariotti. Mariotti did a 1:49.7 the last time round, a 1:48.8 for Christian Moore last time around. So he's already a second a lap quicker than Miguel Mariotti. There's Sadek Leiter, losing the back end through Fedadora. So easily done. Sadek Leiter drops it through the right-hander, manages to recover before he hits anything. But it is so easy to lose the back end in these cars. They are very trigger happy. They are very hefty at the back. And it's so easy for the back end to overtake the front. They swap ends, and it really is game over. What a shame. So Sadek Leiter will drop down through the order as a result of that one. And now Felmanito's gone off again. That's the second time of asking for the Rusty's car. And it's at Ferradura. Oh, he's lost it exactly the same way Sadek Leiter did. Only this time, I think he may have actually stalled the engine. So Alci Felmanito, he's trying to recover it. Come on, Alci, we do not want a safety car. Well, he gets it going. Now here comes Christian Moore. This is why we don't want a safety car, because Christian Moore has got the gap down to 0.9 of a second now behind Miguel Mariotti. Mariotti's done a 1:49.8. Christian Moore's done a 1:49.4. So he's already 0.4 of a second quicker on that last lap. Caio Castro trying to close up now on Lucas Locatelli. And those spins for Alcifel Manito and Sadek Leiter have definitely elevated a few drivers further forward. Seba Malucelli's now 4th, Herman is 5th, Chavez is 6th, Celio Brasil is 7th, and Tonella Bassani is now up to 8th. Caio Castro goes out wide on the exit of Carrera do Sol. Manages to catch it before Celio Brasil comes for a look for the move. And then behind them, it is the championship leader going in this weekend, Antonella Bassani. But the win for Mariotti yesterday, definitely helping him out. Caio Castro, the back end comes up. Such a good catch under the circumstances. So Christian Moore trying to close up now on Miguel Mariotti. Bit of a run wide there for Caio Castro. Big washout behind him there as well from Celio Brasil. So big offs for those two as Caio Castro. Oh no, sorry, that's further back. That's Castro and Reina. My apologies. Andre Rosario makes light work of the move. So Andre Rosario gets through and manages to move up into 11th position behind Caio Castro in 10th. That's Reina down to 12th. Bertuccelli in 13th in front of Sadek Leiter. So difficult to see through some of the lenses that are just coated in water. Can you believe we have not had a safety car in this race yet? Absolutely astonishing, as the drivers are getting used to this even better than the Carrera Cup drivers did. Yes, they're making mistakes, but they're certainly not having multiple pile-ups and bringing out multiple safety cars. Now the gap is down to 0.8 of a second. Mariotti, 1:49.3. Christian Moore, 1:49.2. Time for Christian Moore to really put Mariotti under pressure here. Mariotti wants to disappear away from Christian Moore, but Christian Moore has found some good speed now. And it's up to Mariotti to bounce back in style and try and make this race come back to him. Third position, Gerson Campos in the background, then Seba Malucelli. Leonardo Herman doing a good job, trying to take the victory in sport away though from Seba Malucelli. And then the leading rookie, Caio Chavez, is in 6th position. Celio Brasil in 7th. 8th place now is Antonella Bassani. So some good points in the offing for Bassani, but it's certainly nowhere near as many as she would have liked to walk away from Interlagos with. Through the far side of the course, very slippery up Ferradura, but the confidence the drivers have is keeping them in the mix. This is the fight for the victory in sport. Seba Malucelli 4th, Leonardo Herman 5th, and then right behind them is the leader in rookie, Caio Chavez. So there really is a proper combination of drivers battling away now in the top 6 behind Miguel Mariotti and Christian Moore. Not much to choose between them on the last lap. Sector 1, it was a 45.8 for Mariotti, a 45.5 for Moore. They both did a 38.0 in the next sector. So it really is a battle of wits now between Mariotti and Moore. Going into the next lap, things could start to get critical. 10.5 minutes on the clock. So they go up the hill once again. How are things going for the leaders? That's what we want to see. Mariotti and Moore are very close together. Caio Chavez leading in rookie, trying to close up on the sport contenders. Still Seba Malucelli versus Leonardo Herman. Well, the gap has actually opened up to 2.3 seconds. Looks like Christian Moore's made a mistake on that lap. And so Mariotti has been able to pull away again. Didn't see what happened, but certainly a mistake and a judgment error there from Christian Moore has kept the gap at 2.3 seconds again. Gerson Campos 3rd, 4th is Malucelli, 5th is Herman, and 6th is Chavez. And of Brasil, Bassani, Locatelli, and Andre Rosario in 10th. So incredibly, we've still got all 21 cars running in this race. Despite a few spins, none of them has actually hit the barrier hard enough to retire from the race yet. You just got to be careful, that's the thing. You just got to bring it home in a race like this. You know the driver in front of you might get it wrong. You know there's a couple of mistakes to be made from others. Just stay on the road here, essentially. So 46.3 in Sector 1 for Mariotti, a 46.7 for Christian Moore. I wonder if his bottle's gone, making that mistake and dropping back a further 2 seconds away from Mariotti. There is Caio Castro, trying to get back on terms with Andre Rosario over the top of the hill. So through turn 8 and up to Pinheirinho. This is where he can really start to make an overhaul. So Caio Castro trying to go round the outside of the number 9 of Claudio Reina. So So Caio Castro, having lost out to Reina, now wants a chance to get back down the inside into the Bico de Pato. So there is Gerson Campos in front of Malucelli, Herman and Chavez. So the Tag Heuer number 54 of Caio Chavez, the rookie leader, looking good to score big points here this weekend. 8.5 minutes on the clock. Still a very important race to focus, to concentrate. Even though you're winning your class, you've still got Lucatelli only 3 cars behind you. And there's no telling which way this race is going to go. You can't rest on any laurels. A 149.8 for Mariotti the last time by. A 150.2 for, a 150.5 for Christian Moore. So he really has gone off the boil a little bit in the last couple of laps. Big mistake on the previous lap. And it's opened up the gap again from what was less than a second to 3 seconds. Malucelli under some pressure here from Leonardo Herman down the Reto d'Aposto. And is this going to be a bid from Leonardo Herman? He goes out to the far side. That's where Malucelli's going to place him. Can he out-drag into the braking zone and then turn in round the far side? Leonardo Herman and Seba Malucelli going wheel to wheel at the Descida del Lago. Is Herman going to do it? Yes! Brilliant from Leonardo Herman. After all the bad luck this season, it's nice to see him get a move done in fine attacking fashion for the lead. Now he's got to keep it together. So Herman in front of Seba Malucelli. Such an important overtake in his 2024 campaign. Now looking good for the victory in sport. Let's look at it again. Round the outside. Little bit of room left. Little bit of a wobble from Malucelli. That'll do. Thank you. And he takes the lead away. 7 minutes left here at Interlagos in the second race of the weekend in the Porsche Sprint Challenge of Brazil. And Miguel Mariotti is 3 seconds clear of Christian Moore. And ever since that mistake, or whatever it was from Christian Moore, the battle has gone back into Miguel Mariotti's favour. He's opening up a gap rather than letting it shrink again. So all that hard work from Christian Moore to close up on him, it seems to have all been for nothing. I wonder if Moore's tyres have just decided they've had enough under the circumstances. There is Mariotti. There's Christian Moore in the background. As you can see, the gap has got bigger. 3.6 is now the gap. So Mariotti's just got to cruise his way around in the final 6.5 minutes in front of Christian Moore. He certainly doesn't need to push any harder than he currently is. 149s will do it. He does a 150.8 that time. Christian Moore, a 151.3. His bottle's gone. That's Antonello Bassani, championship leader, running wide and losing a couple of places there to Lucas Locatelli and Andre Ravazzaro. So let's see what happened. She closed up on Celia Brasil. She ran deep. She ran wide. Skating off the road. Lucas Locatelli gets through. So too, I think, did Andre Rosario. Big mistake for the championship leader, Antonella Bassani. Certainly the championship leader coming into the weekend. I don't think she'll be the championship leader going out of it. Not anymore. Not with the pace of Miguel Mariotti yesterday and today. So some seriously contentious battles in this one. But Miguel Mariotti is going to stay permanently in front of both categories here, both races. Yesterday's race and today's. 5.5 minutes still remaining here. Caio Chavez putting some pressure now on Seba Malucelli, over to try and get into the top 5 overall. Yes, you want to win your class. If there is a chance to overtake the cars in front, you'd be stupid not to. It all works. It all helps your career. It all helps balance the hard work you put in. Here comes Miguel Mariotti out of Subido dos Poches this time. Only 5 minutes remaining. Let's see a replay. Now this is further round. Is that Celio Brasil losing the car? It is indeed. So Celio Brasil spins in front of Locatelli and Bassani. Gets the car going again, but that's a critical error. And so now it's going to be Celio Brasil down to 9th behind Lucas Locatelli and Antonella Bassani. And Leonardo Herman's got ahead of Gerson Campos. What's happened to Gerson Campos? Campos has dropped back to 4. I think Campos has made an error somewhere. So Leonardo Herman is now in 3rd position ahead of Gerson Campos. I really want to see a replay of where Campos lost his time. They're sliding around through the first turn. That is Celio Brasil trying to work his way back into contention ahead of Caio Castro and also ahead of Giuliano Bertuccelli. Claudio Schimau a few seconds behind them. This is Reina, Rosario, Brasil, Castro and Bertuccelli. 5 cars battling away for 9th position behind the championship leader, Antonella Bassani. Bit of a run wide there from Rosario. He got that very wrong indeed. So Andre Rosario trying to not lose too many places, but I'm afraid he's going to rejoin behind Caio Castro. So he's lost places to Chelio Brasil and Caio Castro. And he's very much in danger of losing the place now as well to Giuliano Bertuccelli. So I'm going to see a replay. This is Chelio Brasil. This is the moment from Rosario just going wide. So Andre Rosario just a little bit too deep on the way through there, sadly. And that puts him off the racing line. 3.5 minutes to go. And this is that battle. Andre Rosario still trying to close up on Caio Castro. Very late on the brakes through Pico de Pato. Running wide. This could be the chance for Giuliano Bertuccelli to have another go to try and come back at him. Very tight race battle all the way through. 3 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the timer. So it looks to me as though Miguel Mariotti has done what he needed to. 5 seconds clear now of Christian Moore. 5.2 seconds is the gap. Plenty of time now ahead of Leonardo Herman, who is the leader in the sport category, who's now in third. 9/10 of a second back from Leonardo Herman is Gerson Campos. So Gerson Campos is not done yet in his plot for third position. 5th place, Silvio Malucelli. 6th is Chavez. 7th is Locatelli. 8th is Bassani. 9th place is this battle. Claudio Reina in the yellow car. Then the blue machine with the yellow insignia of Chelio Brasil. And the red and white of Caio Castro we're watching on your screen now in 11th place. Then Andre Rosario and Giuliano Bertuccelli. Behind them is Chignal, Leiter, Kim, Pontes, Santos, Feldman Nito, Matias Roque and Luis Souza. Down to the braking zone. Oh, and it's a runoff for Claudio Reina. So Reina drifts right off the road and gets back on the throttle too early, spins the car, bang! Now that is going to dislodge the rear spoiler, but I don't think that's going to be him out of the race. Meanwhile, Caio Castro has got Andre Rosario going up the inside into Ferradura. They're both going to get offline, but Rosario's finishing the move. Nicely handled there by Andre Rosario. Overtakes Caio Castro, gets up another position, and so now Castro is under some pressure from Giuliano Bertuccelli. So 1.5 minutes left of the race. Very unfortunate for Claudio Reina. Ran wide, tried to get back on the circuit, got on the throttle too early on the nap stuff, and it threw him off the road, and he nudges the barrier. I don't know how much damage the rear spoiler will have taken, but there was certainly contact between rear spoiler and barrier. Here comes Miguel Mariotti. Now 5.2 seconds clear, at least he was at the last timing stretch, going into the penultimate lap. And there could really genuinely be a double win for Miguel Mariotti to put him into the lead of the championship with 2 races to go. 4.6 is now the gap because Christian Moore has gained some time on Miguel Mariotti with 2 laps to go. Diving at the inside, Locatelli trying his luck on the inside of Malucelli. No, you don't, says Silvio Malucelli. So he stays in 6th position ahead of Locatelli. If those two trip over each other, Antonella Bassani is waiting in the wings in 8th position to try and take away a couple more positions. And that will definitely help her championship plight. Very close battles down the Retta Oposta once again. Sadek Leiter with a puncture. Sadek Leiter's got a puncture there. That is disastrous for him. He was already struggling. He's taken a lot of damage and he's going to park it at the first turn. There's no way with a puncture going down to the first corner you're going to bring that back. Wait for it. There it goes on the home straight. Oh, that's a frightening moment for Sadek Leiter as the rear tyre bursts. He's already got some rear body damage, so that's where it's all gone. 3, 2, 1, time up. We're on the penultimate lap now, whatever happens. They'll have one more lap after this, but there's Sadek Leiter's car. Puncture. There was no way he was going to get that back to the pits with that happening on the main straight. So he did the only thing left open to him. Park it. What a shame for Sadek Leiter. He's been such a great driver this year. Don't forget, he was leading at Estoril in the sprint race when he threw it away on the brakes going down into the safety car. Safety car. We're going to finish under safety car. Well, that is very unfortunate for everybody whose name is not Miguel Mariotti. But now surely the Grand 17, they're not celebrating yet. They just want to make sure that Miguel Mariotti crosses the line. But there is the safety car. I am actually amazed that we didn't have more accidents in this sprint challenge race. The drivers are still working their way around the course. They're still learning more than the Carrera Cup drivers are. And so you would imagine that's the reason we've gone safety car. because on the main straight, there is rubber and dirt all over the main straight. And in these greasy conditions, you're just adding insanity on top of fluidity. And so I have to say, I will really put my hand out and congratulate the officials on this occasion. There have been some times when some of their decisions have been dubious and very questionable indeed. Not this weekend. They got us out of a hard place yesterday when the monsoon weather came out. We could have ended up with a very nasty accident indeed. We didn't. The officials saw it coming, put us under safety car, and then saw us past 75% race distance to get us home safely. And here again today, even with 2 laps to go, because there was a good chance that 2 or 3 drivers would have come down the home straight, flat on the throttle, hit the punctured tyre or what was left of it, and we could have had a monumental accident. We haven't, and that's to the credit of the Porsche Sprint Challenge Brazil officials. So now that they're going to finish under safety car, we can kind of talk ourselves through the battle and how it's going to play out. Miguel Mariotti is going to take the win to Christian Moore. He tried his best to catch him. He certainly was catching him, and then he made a mistake. Lost 2 seconds and then lost his bottle, essentially. So Mariotti unchallenged then to the end. Leonardo Herrmann, great drive from him to 3rd position. And of course, the win in the sports category. Really got his elbows out in the battle with Gerson Campos and also, of course, with Sebemalu Celli. So some great performances from Leonardo Herrmann. Campos is going to come through in 4th place. Gerson Campos, who did so well yesterday. So he is going to come through for 4th position. Gerson Campos, of course, took the win yesterday. Miguel Mariotti was on pole position. I was going to say it's a double victory for Mariotti, but of course it wasn't, because Gerson Campos took the win in front of Caio Castro. Miguel Mariotti had to settle for a top 5 finish. But under safety car, he's not going to be overtaken now. Gerson Campos, I mentioned, in 4th place. He was the race 1 winner yesterday. Caio Chavez will be the winner in rookie in 5th position. 6th is going to be Sebemalu Celli, 2nd in sport. Lucas Locatelli will be 7th, 2nd in rookie. 8th will be the championship leader coming in, the teenager Antonella Bassani. But now they can celebrate. The Grand 17 know that now he's made it out of Jinsao. It's just cruising over the line. They can enjoy the moment of this celebration. They got pole position yesterday. They couldn't convert it into a victory. He got pole position for today's race. And this time, he is going to convert it into a victory. And with the championship showdown on the Sao Paulo Grand Prix weekend in Formula One on the first weekend in November, it's going to be a great showdown between Antonella Bassani and the race winner today. Checkered flag goes up for Miguel Mariotti. He wins from pole position. Great result for him in front of Christian Moore. The team go bananas here at Sao Paulo. That is a win when Miguel Mariotti needed it most. They've got a 2-month wait now until the final sprint race weekend of the championship season. But boy, is it going to be a great showdown between Miguel Mariotti and Antonella Bassani. Can she win back-to-back titles? Or is this man, Miguel Mariotti, going to take it away? There's Leonardo Herrmann in 3rd position, the winner in the sports category. Great job from the Coppert crew, and they are delighted with that. After the misery of yesterday, Leonardo Herrmann and the Coppert crew fight back to 3rd position today. Good enough to win the sport category by 3 places, ahead of Sebemalu Celli in 6th and Celio Brasil in 9th position. So well done to Leonardo Herrmann. A lot of people would have written him off the chance of making that comeback. But Leonardo Herrmann always seems to find the ability to bounce back in adversity. And what about the man in P5? Full credit to this young lad. Caio Chavez is not just the winner in rookie, he is the rookie champion. He cannot be caught now in the 2024 campaign. No matter what happens at the season finale in November here at Interlagos, Caio Chavez is the winner in rookie, and he is the first Porsche Brazil champion of 2024 by winning the rookie championship title in Sprint Challenge. What a result for the Tag Heuer superstar. Excellent performance. Great drive. Great drives all round. I am absolutely stunned that in that most difficult of motor races, where it wasn't dry, it wasn't wet, it was just greasy all the way, of the 21 starters, 20 of them actually finished, and we didn't get a safety car until the final few seconds. So 2 crazy races then here at Interlagos in Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil and Porsche Sprint Challenge Brazil. And it finishes off with a win for Miguel Mariotti after a brilliant comeback drive from Christian Hahn to take the victory. in Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil. It means that the two championship contenders in Carrera Cup, Marcel Muller and Miguel Paludo, now have exactly the same amount of points, 214 points, with 2 races to go. 40 points advantage on Christian Hahn and 50 points advantage on Werner Neugebauer. But in the battle for the Sprint Challenge, we're going to need to see a points championship update. I don't think Antonella Bassani's 18-point lead coming into this weekend stands. She did score points by coming home in 8th place in this one. She missed out on the points yesterday, of course. But it's definitely going to be a change of the guard after the race today. I think Miguel Mariotti has taken the lead of the championship with just 2 races to go, as Ayrton Senna da Silva's mural looks down over the cars here on the start-finish straight. Very fitting that we've got so many Ayrton Senna tributes this year in the Porsche Carrera Cup and Sprint Challenge Brazil categories, because, of course, this year marks 30 years since the late, great Mercurial Ayrton Senna's passing. There have been so many tributes all year long. In fact, the pole position graphics, the qualifying graphics have been left empty on pole position all year long in respect and in tribute to Ayrton Senna. There is Miguel Mariotti. Great performance from him and a great victory. That puts him, I think, into the lead of the Sprint Challenge with 2 races left of the Sprint category. We've got the endurance race coming up, of course, in September on the 22nd at the Termas de Rio Hondo circuit in Argentina. That is going to be a really nice overseas race for them. I say overseas. It's not really overseas. It's over the border, isn't it? Caio Chavez steps out of the car, and he has not just become a winner. He's become a champion. Caio Chavez, the rookie champion in Sprint Challenge in 2024. And there is Leonardo Herrmann, the winner in sport. The battle for the sport title goes on to Interlagos in November. But Caio Chavez climbs the roof of the number 54, and he becomes the first champion in this paddock in 2024. Caio Chavez, the rookie Sprint Challenge champion. So Miguel Mariotti, the overall winner in this race, has just taken the lead of the point standings, I believe, in Sprint Challenge. We'll get provisional confirmation of that. If you want official confirmation, then subscribe to the Instagram, the Facebook, and all of the social media channels at Porsche Cup Brazil. Brazil, of course, is spelt with an S, not with a Z, because, of course, it is Brasil in Portuguese, which is the native language of Brazil. Excellent performance from Miguel Mariotti. We're going to stay quickly for the podium ceremonies, and then we will wrap up proceedings here at Interlagos. Remember, it's the top 5 that get a trophy in Porsche Sprint Challenge compared to a top 3 in most other championships. And there will be podiums in Sprint Challenge. There will also be podiums in Sport, and there will be podiums in Rookie. They're all very quick, as they always are in Porsche Sprint Challenge Brazil. But look at the scenes down there for Caio Chavez. The helmet will come off. The outpouring and the flooding of emotion for this lovable young teenager. He's got a big future in front of him as Caio Chavez. I can definitely see him representing Brazil at Le Mans in the future. There's Miguel Mariotti's celebration for winning the race overall. Leonardo Herrmann, of course, taking the victory in Sport. But Caio Chavez takes the win in Rookie, and by finishing 5th, becomes the rookie champion in Sprint Challenge Brazil 2024. Just 3 weekends remain in Porsche Brazil this year. The endurance race on the 22nd of September at Termas de Rio Hondo in Argentina. Then over a month to wait until the drivers will return as the B-side to the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in Formula One. These guys will be the support act. So while obviously the fans will be there to cheer the likes of Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris, it will actually be these guys finishing off their championship in showdown style that will be flying the flags for Brazil on home turf. Great performance from Miguel Mariotti today, taking the win that he couldn't quite sew up yesterday. It definitely increases his chance in the Drivers' Championship. We'll see if we can get the provisional championship standings after the race. We'll probably get that at the same time as the provisional classification. There is a bit of a wait for that. Not entirely sure why we haven't had the provisional classification yet. Hopefully it'll come very shortly. We usually get it by now. I wonder if there's a slight timing difficulty. Certainly, though, for the contenders on the grid. We still have a podium ceremony or three to get under our belt. And it's been very impressive stuff, very impressive work so far for our contenders. They've given us a really exciting showcase in the final reckoning. But there is the first of our 6 champions this year. We get 6 champions in the Porsche Carrera Cup paddock. 1 in Carrera Cup, 1 in Carrera Sport, 1 in Carrera Rookie, 1 in Sprint Challenge, 1 in Sprint Challenge Sport, and 1 in Sprint Challenge Rookie. And we have our first champion. It is the Sprint Challenge Rookie title winner, Caio Chavez. A fabulous performance from the red Tag Heuer number 54 driver. All through the season, he's just been so solid, so smooth, so consistent. Not really overdriving the car, letting everybody else make the mistakes around him. And he's been so calm, so smooth. So there are our 3 winners. Miguel Mariotti in Challenge, Leonardo Herman in Sport, and Caio Chavez in Rookie to become the Rookie Champion 2024 in Sprint Challenge. 5 more champions to crown, and that will happen on the 2nd and 3rd of November, back here at Interlagos on the Grand Prix weekend. Let's talk you through the provisional result then. Miguel Mariotti taking the win in front of Christian Moore. Leonardo Herman in 3rd in front of Gerson Campos. Caio Chavez and Seba Malucelli. Then Lucas Locatelli in 7th ahead of Antonella Bassani. Celio Brasil in 9th and Andre Rosario rounding out the top 10. 11th place behind them, Caio Castro ahead of Giuliano Bertuccelli. Then Claudio Chimiao ahead of Claudio Reina. Sang-Ho Kim in 15th position in front of Vanier Pontes. Eric Santos, Alcifel Manito, who could have finished 2nd, of course, at one stage. Matthias Roque, who also spun off. So too did Luis Souza, down in 20th. And there was just one retirement from the race in the end, and that was Sadek Leiter with a puncture. So there we go then, the overall top 5. Caio Chavez picks up 5th position. 4th place for Gerson Campos. Leonardo Herman comes through for 3rd position. The flag of Christian Moore's state goes with him to the 2nd position on the rostrum. But the winning trophy goes the way of Miguel Mariotti. He is the Vencedor in Challenge. Great result and a great performance from him. He takes the win in fine style. And that takes the championship showdown between him and Antonella Bassani on to the season finale on the 2nd and 3rd of November here at Interlagos. The next time we'll see these guys out on the circuit, of course, racing is going to be next time out at Demos de Rio Hondo on the 22nd of September for the endurance race. So they will celebrate in fine style on the Sprint Challenge Brazil podium. For Miguel Mariotti, it's a very important victory. And the boys get busy with the fizzy here at Interlagos. Great performance from the Grand 7 driver, Miguel Mariotti, scoring big points here this weekend. For the final reckoning of this weekend and the championship standings heading to the season finale, all you got to do is like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course, the social media following for the championship at Porsche Cup Brasil. So a great performance then from Miguel Mariotti. That's one of our 3 podiums already done. So now we'll go to the Sport podium. Now don't forget that in Sprint Challenge, Sport and Rookie are both in the same category. Rookie is added to the Sport class. So that means that Leonardo Herman is going to be on the top spot. Caio Chavez is going to be 2nd. Then Seba Malucelli, Lucas Locatelli, and Celio Brasil, who down in 5th position on the podium for Sport, is now pretty much out of contention for the overall championship title. But just to get to the finish of a race like this is very much a reward. Celebrations for Miguel Mariotti. He takes the win and the championship lead heading to the season finale in November. That's what it means to the team. That's what it means to Leonardo Herman, who comes through for the victory in Sport. Let's let him enjoy the moment on the top of his roof. Caio Chavez gets to the 2nd spot of the podium. He'll get to the podium 3 times today. 5th overall, 2nd in Sport, and 1st in Rookie. So the trophies are raised aloft then. 5th position for Celio Brasil. He'll be disappointed, I think, when he reflects on this weekend. 4th place for Lucas Locatelli in the 177. 3rd position for Seba Malucelli. Could have had so much more this weekend. Caio Chavez, the new rookie champion, 2nd in Sport. But the win goes to the comeback kid, Leonardo Herrmann. I'm not sure anybody would have put money on him to win this weekend after the misery of qualifying. But the way he has bounced back has been sublime. Leo the Lion has got himself to the top spot, and it's celebration time for Leonardo Herrmann as the champagne flies for the 5 drivers on the podium. Leonardo Herrmann, Caio Chaves, Seba Malucelli, Lucas Locatelli and Celio Brasil. Leonardo Herrmann picks up big points in the sport category, an important result. He battled his way past Seba Malucelli when he needed to in the greasy conditions. It was always going to be tricky, but he certainly made good work of it. And so again, in the sport category, the showdown goes all the way to the finale. But there is one final podium ceremony here today and this weekend. There's the move that Herrmann did pull off on Seba Malucelli to get the lead, which from that moment on, he never lost. But there's one more podium, and it's in the rookie category. And it's going to be the biggest celebration of all because it's our first champion of 2024 in the paddock. A very happy Leonardo Herrmann. Well done, buddy. A great victory. But now we crown a champion. The top 5 in rookie make their way to the podium. Once again, the state flag has come out for the 3rd place man on the podium. That is the rookie driver, Claudio Chimiao. 5th position for Vanya Pontes. 4th for Claudio Reina. 3rd position and the state flag for Claudio Chimiao. He is very happy with his trophy. 2nd position in rookie, going the way of Lucas Locatelli. But the man on the top step of the podium is your first Porsche Sprint Challenge Brazil champion for 2024. In rookie, Caio Chaves, the 2024 Porsche Sprint Challenge rookie champion. What a magnificent result and a terrific battle as the drivers on the podium one last time get busy with the fizzy here at the Autódromo de Interlagos. The Porsche Cup drivers and the Porsche Sprint Challenge drivers will now combine and meet on the same race circuit in the endurance battle on the 22nd of September at Termas de Rio Hondo in Argentina. That's when they'll be back. The championship showdown in the Porsche Carrera Cup Brazil and the Sprint Challenge Brazil will return on this Interlagos circuit on the 2nd and 3rd of November at Sao Paulo for the Grand Prix. But for now, there is a celebration and there is a new champion in 2024, Caio Chaves, the Sprint Challenge Rookie Champion 2024. An excellent way to wrap things up then at a very slippery, very tricky Interlagos circuit. And there'll be more great racing when we return in September in Argentina for the endurance contest. Let's celebrate Caio Chaves' achievement as the first 2024 Porsche champion in this paddock. But there are 5 more champions to crown in the Carrera Cup and Sprint Challenge. Next time out, we are going endurance racing at Termas de Rio Hondo. The Sprint Challenge will conclude on the 2nd and 3rd of November as the B-side to Formula One at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. From Jake Sanson, thank you very much indeed for watching. We'll be back for more great endurance racing in Argentina next month, and the Sprint Challenge will wrap up in November. Bye for now.